and like done is better than perfect. And like building the plane as you fly it. It's like she actually used pivot. She was like, you just got to be able to pivot as an entrepreneur. And that's the point is you're not supposed to know it all, but the passion is what drives it. And your passion, your like desire to solve a problem, help something, someone.
I feel like you've added more posters to your corner, Mandy.
I for sure have.
I was like, I
Agreed.
feel like now it is a collage.
This is my shadow box from BTS. And then I added my Pickett's Namjoon up there. They've been here. My friend Rochelle
Yeah.
made me that album. And then, come on, Wang. And I moved my Cordis babies down because I had to add more.
Receiving goes into some of those things that I had like just kind of identified and stuff about, it's not like being pulled to emotionally unavailable people and where's the grief that's really rooted or the core wound in things that have created how I am with people in a general sense. And from that came up about belonging and fitting into or people fitting me into their lives. And that part of that is something that I've healed and worked through of like, well, I don't need to be any type of like, I just need to be me, right? And accept all parts of me and love all parts of me. And whoever's going to love me and is for me is going to love all the same things too. Friends, family, work, it applies across the board. But when I was discussing these things and reflecting and working through them and building kind of like timelines and events of things, it became really clear to me that it's actually in many ways of not feeling like that other people will fit me into their life. And that came about because I identified 3 very special ladies in my life who continuously throughout the years make space for me, that show up, include me, fit me in. And ironically, there was actually really only one of you that I think even thought maybe I'm not dealing with this really, Andy. She owns that, and I showed her really who I am enough for her to be like, okay, I guess I can keep letting you have a seat at this table with me. You don't have an intensity problem. Your nervous system just moves fast. Welcome back to season 2 of Go Be Too Much. This season, we're not shrinking, fixing, or filtering. We're expanding. Expanding your voice, your capacity, your nervous system, your ability to hold more without losing yourself in the process. If you ever felt like you were too much, this is where that becomes your power. And hey, this podcast is for you. So if there's something you wanted us to talk about, break it down, or go deeper on, fill out the listener form link below. This is your space to be unapologetic, unfiltered, unfinished, and unmissable. And so with that, I'm MJ. This is Go Be Too Much. Mandy and Cassie, we're recording in the evening, and we all know how that goes. So
We're doing our best,
we're
as
doing
always.
Trying to stay on track.
and what I'm talking about is to pull from last episode for anybody who listened and stuff. We talked a lot about old wounds, father wounds, mother wounds, inner healing and things like that. And we always talk about it in perspective of like a relationship because that's just kind of where we're at in life. And we try our best to say though that it's in other areas. And so I want to make it clear that definitely tonight with anything like that I just shared or do share, I'm working through these things and really breaking down timelines and going back into moments of different aspects of school, of friendships, peers, coworkers, family, intimate relationships. And what I am trying to work on is what is it about the potential? What is it that still pulls me to these areas in life and situations in life that aren't really always what's best for me? And I'm better about clocking it. I'm better about walking away from it. I'm better about moving differently within it, and that's what I have the control over. However, there's still something in there that's like being pulled to these things. And so, what she had me do, the person that I speak to that helps me with these things, is to look at the last relationship that I was in, which not many know, but I was in a relationship this past year for a little while. And ended not because of anything negative. It ended because actually in that moment I was being chosen, and being chosen that you don't deserve to have to be sitting through this with me while I figure this out. The other person identified things that they weren't really able to have the capacity for a relationship that I'm deserving of. And that doesn't make it hurt any less, but you grieve it differently. And especially when you identify like how little of good people you've encountered throughout your life who've showed you those sorts of caring and prioritizations. So through that, it was like I was trying to figure out, what is it from what was it that was lacking towards the end that maybe I need to be giving myself. And, I come up with, consistency for myself and small daily routines and organization. And that even just saying, like, today, I am going to take a shower and wash my hair. That in ADHD world gets a yay.
Amen. Oh my gosh. I told Rick today I showered and then I got out and my hair still looked like this and I was like, damn it, today I was gonna wash my hair. He's like, are you getting back in? I'm like, oh no, that moment's done. Like I'm going about my day now.
That ship has sailed.
That is gone. Like I'm not getting back in the shower. Like I didn't think about it and it ain't happening until tomorrow, maybe. I don't know.
But that is such a real thing for people who are neurotypical and don't understand. Like, it is not, you don't just get in the shower and take a shower. Like, you are thinking about every 10 steps to Sunday that it takes to take that shower. And that's why half the time that we're like, "Oh, I'm not fucking doing that. Doing something else." Right. And it takes so much more of our energy to do that. And, and so it's just like, so showing up consistently for myself in those ways. And it was kind of funny to me because I'm like, I guess I wouldn't have ever thought of myself not showing up consistent. Like, I'm with me every goddamn day. What do you mean I'm not consistent?
Mhm. I had a conversation recently with an individual about how, like, I am really good. Like, I feel everything. I know a lot of people, well, let me rephrase that. People who maybe don't know me would maybe think I'm crass, I'm cold, or I'm heartless, but people who really know me know, like, I feel fucking everything. But the thing is, I feel for everyone else first. I feel the frustration of my kiddo moving in on a weekend with absolutely nothing going the way that it was supposed to. I feel the frustration of my friend who is a single mom and getting absolutely no fucking help from her POS baby daddy. I absolutely feel the anxiety around running your own business or being a badass realtor in fucking Salt Lake. Like, I absolutely feel all of those things for you guys all day. And I sit with that and I hold that. And then I get to the end of the day. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to, like, I don't have anything to feel for myself. I don't have time for this. Like, I am not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm not doing the things consistently because I have gone and run around and I've ADHD'd so hard that I did all the tasks. I did all of the things I was supposed to do because that's what you're supposed to do. That is what the perfectionist side of my brain and that's where my ADHD shows up is, well, you did all of the things for everyone else, for the world, for your house, for the whatever. And then I get to the end of the day and I'm like, I haven't eaten all day. Like, I maybe drank 2 sips of water. I did shower. I will never miss a shower. I can't that my brain will not let me miss the shower, but,
I'll
like,
miss a
I
shower, but I might miss my
but I'm
I'll
not
take
that
a bath or I'll
no, but I
take
mean,
a
like,
shower, but I don't
but
always
I'm gonna do
wash
it
the
I'm
hair.
doing it all. Yeah, but
Right.
can't.
Or shave
I
the legs. Like,
but see, I'm not fucking eating. Like, I will sacrifice eating because I that's too many steps. You have to commandeer it. You have to go fucking get think about it. You have to think about what you're gonna eat. Then you have to
That's what
make sure you have all of the things. Then you have to fucking make it and then I have to sit down and eat it. I don't have time to sit down and eat it.
If Rick doesn't make me food, I eat a TV dinner because I literally just take it out and put it in the microwave. And if he's not here, he texts me and he's like, "Have you ate yet today?" And I'm like, "No, why would
Yeah,
I do that? Like why
yeah.
why would I
I
nourish my body?"
who does those
every
things?
every fucking day now, Heidi's like, "Hey, did you eat today?" No.
Mind
"Hey,
your own
are you
damn business,
are
woman.
you gonna go get your food out of the air fryer? Hey, did you eat that? Hey, are you gonna sit down and eat?" Because it's not only now just making it, it's like I have to follow up on eating it, but eating, it's so inconvenient for me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to stop. I don't want to slow down. I'm like, what am I in a hurry for? Oops, sorry. I'm over here making noise, talking with my hands. I'm like, what am I in a hurry for? I don't know. But
Because my
like,
brain made it an emergency.
It's like, but that's
And
our pacing.
uh-huh,
We pace faster. We pick up on
uh-huh.
things faster. We break it down faster. Like it's how we are paced. And it's hard to know then like slowing down doesn't mean that I'm not still getting things done or taken care of.
Just means that it's not on fire right now. Like everything doesn't have to happen all at once.
everything
Right.
does not need to be on fire.
And that's so true that neurodivergent brains very much think in sort of that all or nothing. Like if I don't do like on Sunday, I got up, I told myself I'm gonna have my cup of coffee and watch one show, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do stuff. And I did. I showed up consistently for myself. I could rely on me in that moment. And I got up and started doing stuff. And my brother came over, and then I had to go do stuff with him. And then I came back and had to do. And it was like, I literally said to my kids, I cannot sit down because the minute I sit down, I'm done for the, like, I'm done. I can't. I have been moving since 10 a.m. and cannot stop until I'm done. And they both just kind of looked at me like, huh? And and then Emily's like, well, don't sit down yet. Come do this thing one more time. I was like, nope. Now I'm sitting down because now I have
It's already processed. Like
hungry.
I already have, it
Right.
already, you told me that I could do this, and now I already visually canceled or mentally canceled everything, and I made space for it. So don't tell me to reverse, because we don't reverse here. We keep going forward.
But it
Quite
was funny
literally
because
plow
she did
forward.
that today.
Yeah.
She got up, she was doing stuff. She went to my brother's house, helped with some stuff, came back home, and she was like, I'm in the mode. I'm just going to do these last few things. And then she was done for the day. But it was like, see, when you, what is that rule?
An
Something
object in motion stays in motion.
stays
An
in
object at
motion.
rest stays at rest.
Right. And it's like, that's so true. But it's so hard to like put ourselves in that motion to begin with.
I think so going back to your original point before ADHD took over, of not realizing you weren't like taking your self-care, you weren't taking your self-care seriously. And something that I wouldn't say that I'm someone who is not taking my self-care seriously, but then like if you sit and think about it, and like I don't do shit. I don't do shit for myself for the sake of doing it for myself. And like the to love others outside of yourself is to love yourself first, and to like pour into yourself and to love yourself is important. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this because I've been consuming a lot of content about the concept of community, and like this idea of you're not an individual and special in the sense of like you're the only one that matters, but so much like you matter so much that like giving to the community and being a part of the community and showing up for the community is showing up for yourself, is like taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself and your needs. But I think, at least for my sake, I won't speak for you too, like I literally grew up in a household where my mom would light herself on fire to keep everybody in the house warm, and then be like, you're so unappreciative. I just did this thing for you. Why aren't you guys more appreciative? And like, yeah, I'm sure there's some feelings like when people don't appreciate the things that you do, we all feel that. We all feel some type of way about that. But it's like, damn, I wasn't even cold. Like shit. I wasn't like, I was okay. Well, and it just like you see a pattern repeated of like, oh, okay. So like I have to just like kill myself and drive myself into the ground, trying to please everyone and trying to appease the gods, that like nothing is good enough until you are a shell of a human, because that's when you've given all, and that's when you've sacrificed enough, and that's when you're worthy, is when you have given everything, and then you're worthy of that relationship, then you're worthy of love from parents, then you're worthy of friends staying in your life. And like that's just
When you think of
really
it
kind
that
of
way and
heavy.
really break it down, it's like, but that worthiness, like if you, it's like the example where people have the cup that's filled with like juice or something and water's running in it, and they're showing it for terms of like healing things out and how long it really takes. But if you think of it the same way, that if it's constantly overflowing and it's overflowing color because that's all for everybody else, by the time it gets to the other point, like, is there really any worthiness for other people to value? Like, because you are also then at that point just a shell of yourself, like you said. And you said the word prioritize, and I was glad you said that, because that was what else my showing up consistency and, like you were saying, like self-love and self-care. Cause I'm like, I actually feel like I've really done that well. And so when it was brought to me of like, what is it that I'm maybe lacking doing for myself? I'm like, God, more self-love. Like, what more can I be doing? Like, I'm like, I've really honed in on this. I feel like I am making sure I take the bubble baths. I say the no. I won't do the thing that I had signed up to do because I don't have the capacity anymore to do it, and not take that as me being a flake or lazy or whatever. Like, I will take the time to go get my hair done. I will do the things, right? And so, but prioritization and asking that, have I been treating myself equally to everything else around me, and not that I get to treat myself when everything else has been managed? That my business deserves planning, my creativity deserves space, my what is it? Like, my rest deserves protection, and not because someone else has to value it. It's because I value it. And so it's balancing all of that, but it's continuing to prioritize it. And when we, especially as parents, but I think even when we're just in a field working with people who we have to overgive a lot. And I even said to Cassie this week, I'm like, you really go above and beyond. And I mean that in the gentlest of ways, because it's a beautiful thing that you do as a realtor, the things that you will do for people. But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, I would never in a million years call my realtor to be helping me with that, because that is not their responsibility. And you want to, and that's different. But again, what then are you not doing for you in order to do those things, and rushing to get to other things that you have to do?
Right. Well, and it was so hard too, because obviously a legal standpoint on the thing that was brought up, but like I just directed that person to who they could talk to other than me,
Right.
because I was like, this is so far out of my wheelhouse, and I feel
Being a
terrible, like,
resource.
right, a resource, because I definitely want to do the saving. Like I know that's in my blood to fix. Okay, we have a problem. How are we going to fix it? But I was like, nope, we're going to pull back and guide somewhere else, because there's no way I had capacity for any of that, and I feel bad, and I actually took it as a teaching moment, and I taught it to my Jumpstart agents, and I was like, "Hey, this is the predicament I'm in. This is what was done prior to it happening that could have prevented it, but said person chose not to do what was advised or suggested, and then this was the result." And I took that moment as a teaching moment for my agents, so that way they understand the importance of why I do teach them what I teach them, but that we can't save everybody. Like they chose this path, and sadly they have to deal with the consequences of their actions because there's nothing I can do about it. So I told them, I'm like, don't think I sound heartless, because I'm not, but it's just they chose this action, and I know that between the three of us we always want to help people, but you kind of just got to let people go with the action that they chose, and may the odds be forever in their favor.
Well, and so and then another piece of that with prioritization, and what Mandy you had said about, and us all having so many different roles, and it's integration of self. So here I am struggling with, like, in people's lives where I have wanted to put myself and fit in it, and I continue to try and, like, okay, so this is what your life is like, how can I fit in it, right? And then realizing and reflecting on, well, how do I do that integration for myself? And what does that mean? And it's that, and it's so funny that I literally just watched High School Musical with my littlest, because she might do a
After talking
play.
about theater in our last episode.
Right. And we talked about theater, and all the things are working here. But integration, and in High School Musical, they're talking about being a ball player, but also being other things. Or there's the guy who likes to bake, or there's the girl who like hip hop, or there's, and it's like, why, we don't have to just, again, be put in the box, right? But me integrating all those things, like I'm identifying all these, I'm the floozy person on this, and I'm the sports girl on this, and I'm the therapist, and I'm the mom, and I'm, and all these things. And it's like, we do talk about taking hats off and having different roles, but there's also just a core that it's us, and stop separating us. And how do we truly integrate us as a whole into all the areas of our life, rather than feeling like I have to tame this part for this, or I have to tame this part for example, my best example that I could give would be like, I love Harry Potter and all things Harry Potter. If I use a Harry Potter reference in therapy because it helps make the point and gets it across because that person likes the Harry Potter, that's okay. Rather than at one point in my life and education, it would be very much like, don't you dare bring those things into therapy because that's not appropriate. Or I received a really difficult phone call once right before a therapy session. And I was trying to collect myself, and I had tears in my eyes and all the things. And it was like, I need to just put that away, and I need to show up, and I do need to show up. But showing up and showing and admitting that I'm a human and I just had a phone call. I need a moment. I'm sorry we're going to start late today. That's okay. It's okay to do that. To be all of those things, to be all the parts of you.
Yeah.
And that's Mandy, like I keep thinking about what you said, that you come off to people as being callous or cold, but that you feel these things deeply and that you feel them for other people first. Like,
Because I read a room like a motherfucker. And if you are not somebody that I trust for whatever reason, whether that's like, I don't know what your motives are, like, I don't know why you're in this room. Why are you invested? And I'm gonna use my job because that's where it happens a lot. Is like, I don't know why you're in this room. Like, what is your why? Because I know what my why is, and my mama bear will come out so fast for these kids. I will fight you. I will fight you tooth and nail. But like, you're here because you want to be a coach. Like, you didn't want to work at that other job that you're okay, and that's weird. And if I don't know, like, I don't know your personality. I don't know, are you someone that likes to talk? Are you someone that likes to gossip? Are you someone that, like, do we have the same values? Like, if I don't know the values of the room, if I don't know the mutual respect of the space, like, I am real quiet and my face tells you to fuck right off. Like, it is what it is. And like, that's fine. That's fine. That you don't have to. That is still me being very much me. But also, when safety is built, when trust is built, then you will get those other sides of me. I think that I am me in a lot more spaces. There are definitely areas where I deflect and I downplay and I will not admit things out loud because I don't want to deal with them. And if I don't say them out loud, then they're not real. But I would say majority of my life in spaces with like friends or professionally, it's yeah, the vibes are fuck you until it's not, because I need to trust the situation. And if I am leading the situation, like I am the trainer, I am the therapist in that moment, and you've chosen to come to me because you need something in that moment. My kids will roll their eyes at me every time I use a K-pop reference. I don't give a shit because it worked. It worked, or fine. If you didn't like it, then you're going to come back at me and you're going to give me an example that is specific to your life and what is more applicable to you. And look, I've just learned something about you. We just learned something together. Although, yeah, they'll tell you all the teenager. I just did a training on it this week. If you can't get them to tell you what they like, get them to tell you what they don't like, because they will tell you that you are annoying because of X, Y, and Z. They hate this music because of, oh God, don't make me listen to Taylor Swift or whatever it is. Whatever it is, Swifties don't come for me. I just throw that out there because I know she's controversial with the youth. But Mary, as you talk, I think about like how much anxiety I get having my different friend groups. Like, I won't celebrate my birthday. I won't have big events. I won't do things together because I don't want my friend groups intermingling, because that gives me too much anxiety, because the things that I get excited about here don't make sense to this crowd. And the things that like I talk about up here don't necessarily make sense to this crowd. And it's exhausting for me to have to like see all of my personality traits in one room and have to run around to that. Like, I compartmentalize for the sake of conserving energy. Those are all parts of me. I don't need them all in the room together. Like, it's one thing if it's up here. Like I am all the things up here and it's looking how it's looking. But when I have to physically look at all y'all and like worry about like, do they like each other? Are they getting along? Do they even know what they're talking? Are they speaking the same language? That's exhausting.
Which is
That
so
part.
funny that you say that because when I read that list earlier that was broken down about like all these different parts of me, which I'm sure are just like the top 10, right? And so when you're talking about that, when I looked at that list, I'm like, oh my God, that is exhausting. I was like, no wonder I exhaust people. And that's such a sad thought for you and I to have. Like that we exhaust people because we're versatile, because we're unique, because we like different things, because we like a variety of things, because different passions and interests and things like that. And you thinking about having multiple friend groups and things like that and integrating them, like I don't relate to that at all because I have my three, right? But it's like, but I think I don't not show you three, not any of those. Like you all know by now the parts of me and the new things that become of me, right? And having that like be continuously shown up for me to feel safe in that we talked about it before with my spirituality and things like that caused Cassie to have some questions and so to be some concerns and different things like that, right? But then she was able to adjust and continue to accept and allow me to have space at her table, right? I didn't have to keep trying to fit me into it. She continued to include me, ask questions, and invite me into it, right? You and me when we first met. And I had to show you who I was so that you could trust
Fix.
me and that I was who I am, right? And I've still shown you as who I am and those growings. And we have probably more bumps and things that come along because of what I believe are Scorpios in us and that depth and the avoidance and challenging one another in those ways. But we rebuild through that, you and me. We don't fail. We don't cut each other off. We don't say you can't be a part of my table anymore. And then I have Candace, who is probably that I say like from the beginning I never realized through our childhood, but I realize it now looking back how much she really picked me to be in her world all the time. And that makes me emotional. But part of that is because there's safety in it, like you're talking about, feeling safe. And that's what else that these things of what it is I'm lacking in doing for myself is the self-trust. It's continuity for myself. And that I am doing things differently. I am moving things differently. That I'm not exhausting to be all these different things. But it takes a lot to rebuild that trust in ourselves.
Try to figure out how I want to word this because what my toxica self is gonna say here is like, yeah, like it's me against the world. I'm the only one I can trust. So I'm just gonna stay the fuck over here and do my own thing and worry about myself. I'm like, that's not what Mary was getting at. That's not. And I know that, like logically, I know that that's not what you meant, and I know what you meant. But my brain is literally like, see, see,
And why? And why is it doing that?
because that is what safety has always been for me, and that is what feels comfortable. And so sitting with the discomfort or getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, I'm like, I like who the fuck I am so much so that sometimes I just want to be with myself because again, like I said, like trying to show up for all the people or in those spaces, like that's exhausting. I am who I am in all spaces. And these motherfuckers are gonna hear about K-pop, and these motherfuckers are gonna have to hear about whatever it is that I am on that day, the BL, whatever. Everybody gonna have to hear about it in separate spaces, but don't all get together because then I think I have to own it. I think I have to own all of the things that have been happening in those circles.
I guess what I'm hearing from that is the you being seen part.
100%. Oh, fuck. Like it's literally all I've been saying this whole entire year is like, oh, I just want someone to see me. And then someone sees me. I'm like, bitch,
Step the fuck back.
step, step
I
the
was
fuck
just
back.
kidding.
Hi. Not you.
What
You
is
knew.
But not you. Not you. Which, here, humdinger for you. I'm sure it comes back to what? I just want my fucking parents to see me. I just need my goddamn parents to see me for me, to see me as a whole ass human being and not an extension of whatever it is that they needed me to be or thought I should be or whatever. And, what they wanted for themselves to be, or, again, because that would be the thing that comes up as like, well, what do you mean? What examples? Give me specific examples. And there's not a time where like anyone sat me down and was like, you have to be the freaking one of the family to like that never happens. But like, behavior patterns and what got reinforced in the conversations and the language that was used around, I think my sisters used to call me Apple, the apple of my parents' eye, because I was perfect, because I followed all the rules, because I had straight A's, because I did all of the things that I was supposed to do. And you were the apple of mom and dad's eye. And then my baby sister was the black sheep that just was out here hooting, hollering, and ripping and roaring. And like, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. There were a lot of things that I did not speak about, that I was not honest about, that I did not bring up, that I just buried because like that would have ruined the mirage. I don't know, because like I feel like you guys get a pretty good handle on me, and you can definitely tell when I am like biting my tongue and not saying some shit, or like I'm gonna go excuse myself to the closet real fast and just fucking come unhinged. I'll be right back, and I promise I'll be fine when I come back. Because I am mean. I am mean, and I have a nasty streak because I suppress so much that when it gets to that point, like I am ready to get everyone away from me. And the quickest way to do that is to be an asshole or to be scary. And wouldn't you know, that's exactly what my dad did. And he processed nothing, and he always blew up on us, and he was always yelling or screaming and just being really scary. But guess what we all did? We all went to our room. We all were quiet. We all didn't make a peep for the rest of the night because we rocked the boat. We pissed somebody off. So I'm like, that's a fun pattern to pick up on. That's a fun one. So I try very hard to at least use some words before I go disappear into the closet and lose my shit. But that the anger is the safety one. When somebody sees or holds me accountable to feeling shit, like again, same individual coming for my fucking neck the other night when I was watching the letters to Isabel. And I was like, I'm sick of feeling shit. I feel like I have cried more tears in the last 6 months than I have in the last 6 years of my life, fucking combined. It's like, well, it sounds like it's time for you to start feeling for you. It sounds like it's time for you to start letting some of those emotions in. I was like, that's not what you're here for. That's not what I asked for at all. But they're right. They're right. Like I want to be seen, but in order to be seen, that means for all things, for all to be seen as vulnerable, to be seen as soft, to be seen as worthy of protection, like not having to be the protector, not having to be the biggest voice in the room, not having to be the literal muscle or, the spicy, foul mouth individual. Like that means you have to let them see all the things.
It's
And
wild. I'm here to tell you. It's Rick asks me all the time. He's like, Cassie, how's it feel to not have to be the provider for people? Because obviously he is that role in our relationship. And I was like, it's so nice because every other relationship, I've been the breadwinner, which is not saying much because it's not like I made a lot of money. But like I was always the one that took care of everything and that I always had to be the man. And then he's like, "You don't have to. You can come back here and be a little baby." And I'm like, "Ooh." But then when he's on night shift, I'm like, "I just want to be a baby. Why aren't you home?" Like this is bullshit. But it's hard. Girl, it's been 5 years and I'm still learning. So I feel like that's the other thing is that you're constantly learning through all of the things too. And I know we talked about that before too. Like you don't have to be necessarily ready to go into something, but as long as somebody has the capacity and is willing to love and accept you and grow with you, I think it makes it a lot easier. But that's just my 2 cents.
Right. And that's a big part of it then is knowing that not everybody whose table I try to sit at, do they disappear because they necessarily don't want me sitting at that table with them, but they don't have the capacity to let me continue to sit at that table with them for whatever reason, whatever it is that's going on. And so for me, Mandy, you talk about being seen and Cassie and being like provided for. And it's like a lot of mine came down to those different hats, all those different things, which ironically, again, with all the theater stuff, masking. Why could I fit into any different type of group in high school? Because I could be. I could be the jock. I could be the gothic kid. I could be the nerd. I could be the, and I could do those things almost scarily, like just morph into what I needed to be to fit into that space because that was the only way I knew how to try and make connection. And so understanding that change, which is inevitable, change always happens, but something in that created things to feel very unsafe for me. And, I think I've talked about like my core sort of rejection was when I was in school in elementary and all of a sudden had to go to a different elementary school, right? And so it was like from there that starts, right? And so like, okay, so I don't fit into that space. Now I got to try and fit into this space. And oh, lo and behold, the first like boy that I had a like crush or relationship or whatever with in elementary school didn't want to be with me anymore. And I was totally opposite, like goody two shoes, bad boy look. I'm gonna now fake having like a nose ring or some crazy shit as a sixth grader to try and feel like I'm a badass.
I'm a bad bitch.
Right? Like, and it's just it's like, so all those things start coming to play and it's like, hey, and it's not even about being chosen or things like that because I will get chosen initially. People will want those interactions and want me on their team. But it's like the minute that their capacity changes, I feel things here. And so my core wound is recognizing that those shifts happen, that things change, but that I am the constant, that I can be secure, that I can be safe, that I can rely on me. And by having that secureness within myself allows me to have better secure attachments than with others rather than falling into past negative behaviors of codependency or anxiety attachments. And so that's just I guess what I've recognized since our last conversation and we were talking and all that came about because I needed to allow myself to receive good things and birthday gifts from people who I wouldn't have anticipated getting birthday gifts from and know that I didn't need to overlook that. I didn't need to read into that more. I don't need to take initiative on that. Does that mean something? Do something about it, take action. I get to just receive and that's okay.
Mind you, I'm over here judging myself the entire fucking time because normally I'd put like a birthday card or a like I always do it and I didn't do it this year because life. And I'm like, well, I'm a piece of shit human because everybody else did. Everybody else did something for Mary. Everybody else did
Didn't
all
send
shit.
her a birthday
I
card. I sent her a text at midnight. That's all I got.
listen, I was
It
sweating it.
was midnight my time because I wasn't staying awake for midnight her time.
Oh my God.
But
But you sent me a video and you checked it. Like you each did your own things that,
yeah, but
you know,
again, and I know, like, I know that you know that, and I know that you appreciated that, and like that was meaningful. I know that you know. Again, logical brain knows all of that, but I also know like how important you like it is for you to receive. It is for you to have somebody else do shit for you. I mean, fuck, Cassie and I on that Florida trip, were giggling the whole time because I'm like, you went into baby girl mode so fast. You were
Because
like,
we just had you. We're just like, here you go. And you're like,
going or what we're doing. Just I'm here for a good time.
she's like, "Dee, dee, dee." Her and Candace.
I know. I'm so excited for our trip coming up and that we're going to Boston and that we get to do that with each other, but that she'll mostly do it because I just get to be.
Yeah, she'll mostly do it because what she's a safe person and you allow her to do that. So why can this person do it for you and they can do nice things for you and you just fucking you literally like here are the keys. I don't give a shit. Drive me home. And he's like, you're just like, I don't want to drive. Here's the keys. I'm like, all right, here we go. And then other times it's like, oh, do I deserve it from this person? Like, do I need to say something? Do I need to reach out? Like, do I need to reciprocate that? Like, oh, I need to pay my tax back over on that side. Meanwhile, over here, you're like, no, I'm good. I pay my taxes this year. We're good. They could do the nice things for me.
You saying that is exactly where I ended with my like reflection and stuff as I was doing it is like, these are the things that I'm needing to be looking for in other individuals. And this is not just for intimate relationship stuff. I mean, this is friendship groups, like I just said, so, and it's what that safety is, and having that secureness within you guys. And yeah, sure, those things we could chalk it up to the amount of years, right? But we all know that that's not it. It's the way in which we show up for each other, we include each other, actively prioritize and include, and all of those things. And that was something that actually unlocked, that I didn't even realize was a core wound around grief. And that it was a core wound because when I was thinking about and my brain's trying to find things that challenge the narrative that's been happening, and challenging that by, I have these people that love me and don't disappear on me, and are there, and outside of like whatever things I can trust in and feel secure in, that these are relationships that don't have an end date otherwise. And what made me reflect on that so much was that I had a best friend for 13 years, and I never thought about how just instant that was. Literally, a kindergartner pushes me down and picks me back up, and we're friends. And he moved for a while, like disappeared from life, and my brain at that age and stuff didn't recognize being there, not being there. And he moved back, and it was like we picked up like it didn't belong. And it was always, you can be any version of yourself. You can grow, you can change. I accept things. It's home. There was times I left and went to college. My parents didn't even know I came back to hometown because I stayed with him and his family at his house. And even at a moment that I got like, trapped in his shower, his mom had to like give me a give me a towel, and his dad had to like break me out of it. It was the funniest thing. Everybody's laughing. I'm embarrassed. Like just, and it was because he's home. And it was the first loss that I ever knew, like to have him pass away. And as much as I've healed that grief, I didn't ever know that that grief was a core wound to my connection of having somebody that was home, that was safe, that didn't disappear. There was all of these things that I look for in other relationships. He was that. And it did disappear, and it disappeared out of anybody's control. And there is no guarantee, there is no certainty. And so to have a wound around something like that and have to recognize that that certainty needs to come within self, that no matter what happens, I've got me. And realizing that when I kept trying to make shift and change and all these and fit in things, I abandoned myself the most. I didn't see myself the most. I didn't have capacity for,
And you've always been the damn lighthouse.
and I
You
am the
you
lighthouse.
are the damn lighthouse.
And
We
that's why
all
I'm
are.
doing this. And that's why like this episode has been the most that we've talked about like our inner stuff, but I wanted to do that today. And I don't think I didn't tell you guys that intentionally I was going to do that, but I wanted to do that because I want it to be seen and shown that I have been healing and working on my shit for fucking ever, my whole goddamn life practically. But it doesn't mean that I've even been close to scratching it until some of the most horrific things that I've had to go through in the last few years to really make me sit and have to look at these things. And it just goes to show you that when things fall apart, it's really just falling together. And that we've talked about that failure, it's only failure if you don't let yourself see the opportunity, the learning lesson.
I love that. Not to keep us going on this episode, but we just talked about in our meeting, what's today? Yeah, yesterday. And it said, unfortunately, this happened, but fortunately, this is the outcome. So, like today for me, unfortunately, it took me 2 hours to get to my showing. But fortunately, my clients didn't care and they still love me. So it's always like, even though there's an unfortunate moment, try to find the fortunate within it to turn it into a positive. Because if we keep focusing on the negative, I mean, there's something good even if we don't see it, want to see it or anything. Like there's a little bit and sometimes it's a redirection. So,
And it doesn't mean that you have to see it right in that moment, because none of us do, and really probably shouldn't. But it's being a lighthouse, standing strong in yourself, standing the storm, knowing that shining that light out, you're healing those things, and it all impacts everybody around you. And if you don't, you're not healing, and that is impacting those around you. That's causing waves and storms. Well, I love you both. Thank you for being constant. Thank you to Candace for being constant, for having capacity for me. And for anybody out there and you're struggling, feeling like you don't fit in, you're probably not supposed to. And you're probably not asking the right questions to figure out what it is you're even trying to fit in to begin with. So until next time, we love you. Bye.